Hi everyone, welcome to episode 4 of the Kifaayat podcast. So we have a really special guest on today. Her name is Aleena from Aleya. So Aleena, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I am Aleena. If you follow me on my very many pages that I hold, you might come across me. But if you don't, I am someone who was brought up in Dubai, moved to Australia and did a degree in finance and accounting. Don't ask why. And then realized that I have a passion for fashion and music and all kinds creative. I haven't quite landed into the sweet spot yet, but we're getting there. I am a co-founder for a beautiful small business called Aleya. We sell pre-loved outfits and we also rent out Indian wear. My co-founder is Shreya. Shreya, if you're listening, hi. I also have a little singing page, which I haven't touched in a couple of years, which I probably should get to at some point. And I'm also a fashion blogger. You can find me on Rani Vibes in Instagram.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming to our show today. I'd love to hear a little bit more about Aleya and what Aleya stands for and what you exactly do.
Sure. So Aleya actually came about the most random way. So Shreya and I, my co-founder, both of us worked at the same company and we were just having our usual coffees on a random weekday, and both of us are creatives in our own different ways. And I think I always knew I had a flair for Indian fashion or just something in relation to the fashion space. And she is a creative in herself. She is like always bustling with ideas. So random coffee catch up, she said, hey, it would be really good to have a business of some sorts of where we sell pre-loved outfits or rent out outfits. Like, we have so many weddings, we hoard so many Indian clothes. What is it all doing? And I was newly married, so I was like, I could completely understand where she was coming from. Like, girl, I have way too many clothes in my closet. That needs to go out somehow. And then we had this aha moment of like, why don't we just try something? Like, why don't we maybe just test the waters out? We don't really know what we're doing. None of us have had a business before. She's not had anyone in her family who has a business, neither have I. So we were just literally going in blind. But all we knew is that there was definitely a problem. The problem is the fact that there are way too many Indian outfits that us South Asians have that are sitting in our closet. We don't wear it regularly. No one wears it regularly. It's just sitting there catching dust, and we spend so much money on it. Like, why is it there? Like, we could be doing something with it. There are so many multicultural weddings happening these days where people want Indian outfits, but the price point is ridiculous. So why don't we just give them an option to rent it out or something like that? Yeah. So that's where it all came about, and now here we are.
Amazing. We've collaborated as well.
Yes.
So you can find Aleya on the Kifaayat platform as well.
Correct.
They've got so many beautiful outfits available to buy. And obviously you can come and visit your boutique to rent out the outfits as well.
Yes.
Based in Sydney. So we're actually sitting in the boutique right now. So thank you so much for having us here today.
Okay. No worries. Happy to have you.
You know, I've actually been following Aleena since probably 2018, actually, when you first started Rani Vibes. So I'm really keen to hear about your content creation journey as well.
Yeah, sure. So 2018 was actually when I started singing. So oh my gosh, if you met me back then, I was very shy. Didn't really have much confidence, but I knew I wanted to just get out there and just explore myself, explore the creativity, explore whatever I knew. And at that point, all I knew was music. So I got into music that way. I've been trained in music a long time, but I started to experiment with putting my voice out there, being a bit more confident, being in front of the camera, which is not easy, by the way. Being in front of the camera is daunting as hell. So that's when that started. And then a year later, 2019, is when I started Rani Vibes. Because again, I was not super comfortable with sharing my face in front of the camera, despite me having a music page. I first was just posting like outfits that I loved from like Abhinav Mishra, Sabyasachi, Falguni Shane Peacock, all of these huge designers where I'm just like drooling, looking at their beautiful outfits, just posting their photos. And then eventually I actually got a gig with Meera by Purnima Sharma, where I was her model. And I think she really took my confidence up a notch, where I was like, hey, I'm actually okay to be in front of the camera. We got glammed up. It was a 4 a.m. shoot. It was crazy.
Wow.
I feel like that was my full-on launch into how to be in front of the camera and be okay with the way you look, sort of thing. So I think that sort of flowed on to me creating a lot of pieces, content pieces, where I was styling and re-wearing outfits, trying to upcycle. I don't really know how to upcycle via like tailoring and all that stuff, but I tried to mix and match a lot of my pieces so that it could feel like I was wearing a fresh set of lehenga or a sari or something like that. And I think that's where I just experimented with my creativity. But in terms of content creating, it has been such a journey. I feel like trying to put aside your mind of like, oh, how many likes am I getting? How many views am I getting? Is my content good enough? Do I need to look this way? Do I need to look that way? There's so many narratives and things that you think of while you're content creating, and then in the midst of all of that, you lose your authenticity. You start becoming less of who you are, and then you become more of who others want you to be. And I think I started seeing that a lot in my journey at Rani Vibes, and I wasn't quite liking it. I was like having this inner conflict of, what am I doing? Like, is this really who I am? Do I need to be creating this kind of content every day? So I did actually end up pausing Rani Vibes for a bit, which kind of collided with when Aleya was born as well. So yeah, been a very long journey, but I feel like we've just learned so much. There's just so much in the space, and social media itself is just like skyrocketed. Yeah, in many
and it's very competitive as well. I think and like if you make it all about views, it really just kind of gets to
your
you.
head. Yeah.
Whereas I feel like now a lot of the content that I'm starting to see that I relate with is actually more authentic content.
Yes.
So I think, you know, if you focus on that, maybe that will feel more just like I'm just being myself.
Exactly. It doesn't feel like you're putting on a facade.
Yeah, exactly.
To impress someone who you don't really care about. So
yeah. So did you post your wedding content as well?
I did. I did post. Oh my god. Okay, so posting my wedding content on Rani Vibes was great, but I also felt like this external pressure of like, oh, it needs to be aesthetic. It needs to like fit with this glamorous way that the wedding should be looking like. And to be honest, I have a little bit of regret, because I feel like a lot of the time during my wedding, I was focused on aesthetics rather than being in the moment and be like, oh, these are the people that I love. This is my wedding. I'm getting married to the love of my life. Like, all those things were there, but I feel like the whole influencer, I hate that term, but influencer, content creator sort of mentality kept coming back to me. And I think it definitely took away from my wedding experience a bit. And I didn't realize it at that time. It was only after reflecting back on it, I was like, oh, okay.
I've definitely like I haven't been to your wedding, but I've been to other weddings where I have noticed that, where I felt like, you know, they're not really caring about the guests as much, and it just feels like it's just for Instagram. It's just for the reels, it's just for the content. Whereas, you know, I've been to some other weddings where people really care about their guests, and you can really tell the difference. And obviously it's your wedding, so you do want to be a little bit selfish, but at the same time, you like, people are coming, you know, for example, from overseas to attend your wedding, and you're just focusing on the content and the Instagram, and you just want to go viral. And then that doesn't feel authentic enough. So what would you say, like, you would have done potentially differently now if you were getting married in today's day and age, which Instagram's probably even bigger now, and reels and stuff, but what would you do differently to feel more authentic and really feel like you're not all just about the looks and the brands when it comes to weddings?
Oh gosh. Okay. First of all, just as you said that, I just had the biggest trigger. So one of the vendors that I was working with in my wedding made this comment of like, oh, my outfit is not really reception worthy. he didn't say it directly, he said it indirectly, but that got to my head, and it bothered me so much at that time. Like, oh, is my outfit actually not good enough? Is it is it like not visually aesthetic enough? And all those kind of things got into my head so much. And I remember being unhappy all of a sudden just because this person made a comment. I remember being unhappy with the way I looked and the way I felt at my reception simply because this thing was in the back of my head. Now going back, I wish that I actually spoke up and said something to that person as soon as they said it, so that I could be like, it's not your wedding, man. It's mine.
Like, why would they even say that?
I know.
Like, I feel like that's so inappropriate.
It left such a bad taste in my mouth, and I would never refer them ever again. I feel like I stood my ground a lot more during my wedding. There was definitely a lot of good things that I did that I can share with you guys, which I feel like you can possibly implement as well. But like, I wish I stood my ground as to what I wanted, and like not thought about what does Instagram want? What does my dad and mom want? Yes, you need to worry about what they want, but you can't fulfill all of their wishes. It's just not possible. And like, who are the people that you want to have in your wedding that are closest to you and actually know you? Because there are some people in my wedding, I'm like, dude, I have seen you maybe once in my life. Don't know anything that's happening in your life. You don't know anything that's happening in my life apart from the fact that I'm getting married. Does that person really need to be there? I think I'm glad that I got married during the COVID time, because it sort of gave me a great excuse to sort of cut down on my guests a bit. But yeah, I wish people are more, or have the opportunity to sort of stand up and be like, no, I want my wedding to be a focus of me and my husband and the family, and I want it to be a very like collaborative, fun sort of thing.
Yeah.
And stop worrying about what Instagram thinks, what people in social media think. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, it's your wedding. Do what feels good to you.
One of the things with Instagram weddings is obviously outfits as well. And given that we both have fashion businesses, what are your views on buying like designer outfits versus boutique made or even pre-loved?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So there's definitely a lot of pressure, I feel like, over the last couple of years, I would say, of like brides wanting or having to have a designer outfit like a Sabyasachi lehenga. That's like a typical example. Like, I understand the appeal of Sabyasachi for sure. Fantastic, beautiful pieces. And if you can afford it, fantastic. Go ahead, do it. But like, if you're buying designer outfits simply to tick the box of, oh, I'm a Sabyasachi bride, I have a designer lehenga, who are you, like, who's that benefiting? That's not benefiting anyone, especially not your bank balance. So if designer is your choice, go for it. But I feel like you should never overlook the other sort of boutiques that are out there. In India, there are so many different businesses that sell Indian wear, bridal Indian wear, and at much more affordable prices. I'm not going to say it's cheap. I'm not going to say it's like very like inexpensive or anything like that. But I think putting in the perception of, what do I want to look like as a bride, and what is the budget that I want to go with, and also then putting on a layer of, am I going to wear this outfit again? Am I going to wear it? If I'm not, then why am I spending that much money? Can I repurpose the outfit? Maybe upcycle it to just using the blouse of the bridal lehenga and like getting a simple skirt to match that outfit so that I can wear it to my, I don't know, best friend's reception or something like that. Anything. So like, having that sort of mindset layered on top would allow for those beautiful pieces that you have chosen for your wedding to then be reworn again, because otherwise it's just sitting there. It takes up so much space. It's so bulky.
Yeah.
And it's just a waste of money. It's not worth it just for one day. And if you want to have a really grand outfit and not really into the whole repurpose, restyling thing, then rent it or buy a pre-loved outfit, because they're literally the same. You just probably need to get some alterations done, spend a few hundred on that, and then it's sweet to go. Yeah. I feel like there's so many options that we have nowadays, and this whole stigma attached to pre-loved and secondhand and rental just needs to go. Like that's old news. Come on with the new. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
100%. I've even seen like on Shark Tank India that there are literally places where you can rent Indian clothes like for your wedding or as wedding guests as well. And that's just blowing up in India. And I feel like, you know, being outside of India, we're actually falling behind a little bit in that space.
100%.
Yeah. And like we do, you know, for example, if I go back to India, you know, I love to go shopping and stuff, but now I feel like my mindset's evolving as well. Like I don't need to buy stuff all the time. Like my mother-in-law's there right now and she's like, oh, do you want me to get you anything? I'm like, no, it's not the same. It's not like 10 years ago where I would ask you to buy me a whole suitcase worth of Indian clothes. I don't need that anymore.
I couldn't agree more. I was, oh my God, the best part of India was just going there and shopping till you drop. And I still have outfits that are sitting in my suitcase and not been worn. Like, why did I, like, and all of that was money.
Exactly.
All of that was money. And now it's just piece of clothing that's sitting in your suitcase. Yeah.
And like, what are you going to do with it afterwards? Unless you're like going to donate it. But then like, sometimes this stuff is like brand new. You're like, okay, I want to donate it to someone and it goes to the right person.
Yeah.
But sometimes if you donate stuff, you actually don't even know where it's going to end up. And most likely it's going to end up in landfill.
Yeah.
So, which is really sad. And like with, I guess, you know, wearing designer clothes, obviously a lot of people say, oh, you know, I'll buy the designer outfit and I can wear it a couple more times. It's really great quality. One thing that I've been thinking about is when sometimes I've got like boutique made clothes as well. And I found that the quality is still really excellent. And even like on Kifaayat, some people list these stunning clothes that are actually, you know, custom boutique made.
Yeah.
And they're cheaper than buying designer as well. Yeah. And they're not necessarily like designer dupes either. You know, I know a lot of people don't want to buy like dupes and they're a bit like, oh, I'd rather buy the actual designer itself.
Yeah.
But what are your views on that? Like actually just getting made something custom made or boutique made with someone who actually has like the skills as well.
Yeah.
Without the brand name.
Yeah, no, of course. I feel like there is so much talent out there and people like boutiques specifically, they have their own visions and their own flair of different designs and outfits in itself. And I feel like when you actually purchase something from boutiques, it's so unique. It's not something that you see on every other bride. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like every other bride who wears Sabyasachi, especially if it's a red lehengas, I shouldn't be saying this, but if I am, I'm saying it. It kind of just gives the same feel. It's very similar. It's beautiful. But like, if you want something unique, like boutiques are actually a great place to start. And the customizations are inevitable. Like you need to customize your outfit regardless. Not any outfit is going to suit your body type like it does on models. So you're just going to have to like play around it, and boutique gives you the opportunity to sort of like go with what is most authentic to yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's,
Yeah, and I think to your point around tailoring, like you have to tailor everything. Yeah. Like one of the questions I get a lot, I'm sure you get this as well, it's like, oh, if I buy something secondhand, you know, it's made to someone's custom size. I'm like, well, even if you go to the store, you're probably going to need to get it tailored. Yeah. So even if you buy it secondhand, you're probably still going to need to get it tailored.
Absolutely.
Which I feel like there's a bit of a misunderstanding. As well. From people. I've seen people go to certain designers. I'll just say it out loud. Like I think it was Seema Gujral. Where the designer, you know, people have ordered these beautiful, stunning outfits. And they've come back with, you know, the outfit not coming in time or the quality's not that great. So there's that risk with anyone you go to. It could be a boutique or it could be a high-end designer or through like bigger platforms like Pony's pop-up shop. They all are not going to be perfect. Like you think you're going to get a certain service, but you might not always get that. I've even seen people who've complained about Sabyasachi and they've like not or like come in time or the fitting wasn't perfect in time for their wedding. So, and I've also seen so many people list on our platform of outfits that they didn't come in time, so they had to have, and they couldn't wear it for their weddings and had to order something else.
Oh, biggest tip. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I went with Sudhir by Sariwala for my wedding. And the biggest tip I can give you is when you're researching your lehengas and you're engaging with the business owners or the person who's serving you, have a good relationship with them. If they are being offhandish to you, why? Don't go with that person. Like you need someone who you can rely on, who gives you good customer service and who actually responds to your messages. Sudhir Bhai Sariwala, very responsive to me, the person who served me. And she kept giving me like photos of like my lehenga embroidery being done, what stage it was at. And I never felt like I was kept in the dark. I was constantly being communicated at what stage my lehenga was at. And so colors is a bit of a issue if you're virtually shopping, which is what I did. I didn't go to India. Virtually shopping, what it looks like on the model or like in the lighting of the studio that they send you the photos for is never usually true to what you see. So I actually asked them to send me a swatch of the outfit with the different linings so that it changes the color a bit so that I could see it visually on me as to what looks good. Yeah. I think that's a great thing. Like, do it as much as you can for especially your bridal lehenga. And when you're shopping for bridal lehengas, tell them that your wedding is, if you're actually getting married in December, tell them your wedding is in October or like September or something, because that's what I did. Because I kept hearing people having their outfits delayed. I was like, I have already enough stress in my head. I don't want this to be another thing.
Exactly.
Just give an extra couple of months so that they can rush it and get to it. Yeah.
With the colors, actually, I'm not sure if you've seen, there's actually like a book with all of the color swatches and it has the code, and it's almost like a standardized book that all the tailors and boutique owners use. It's called, I'll bring it up on the screen, but it's called the something telephone book. And it's blue. I think maybe they have different versions of it, but essentially it's pretty standard, and you open it and it has all the colors and the codes. So if you are customizing, it's super handy. Like, I would just recommend you just buy it if you're getting married and customizing. You can just like choose the color, and then that will be the color or the color combination that you want.
Because colors are so important. I feel like what it looks like on someone else is never like what it looks like on you.
And also you got to figure out, like, I don't know, color, like use the color theory and stuff, what actually looks good on you, what will look good on you on the day. Like, sometimes for people, like pastels, like, make them look a bit washed out. It just really depends on your skin tone and stuff as well.
And your style,
One of the things that's been bothering me a little bit is that when I go to India, right, visit my family, they just do so much shopping. Like my mommy, my auntie, she has a closet just with literally her South Asian clothes falling out.
Oh, God.
And she's like, I don't even know what to do. She's honestly been telling me, she's like, can you bring Kifaayat to India right now just so I can like sell my clothes? Because she just is addicted to buying clothes. And I've noticed this a lot with that generation, like our parents' generation of overconsumption and buying so many things. Like, I recently moved houses, and my mother-in-law also has so much stuff. My mum has so much stuff. Like, we don't even know where to get started when we're trying to declutter. So many of these clothes that they've literally only worn once or twice. They're tailored to their size, but that's okay because it can be adjusted. But what are they going to do with them afterwards? I'm not going to wear them. They're in their style. They don't have anyone else to give them to unless they choose to donate them. But if there's stuff that like is stunning, hand embroidered, like what are they going to do with it afterwards? And I'm just seeing it in general with that generation with overconsumption, and I feel like it's slowly passed down to us. We're millennials. Obviously Gen Z is starting to care a little bit more about like sustainability, thrifting, buying secondhand. But I even see it with like my friends and my generation where people are not willing to buy secondhand clothes. Like, they think it's disgusting, or they're just not bothered to thrift. They rather just buy on Shein. Keen to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like, I think we're on very similar boats. My mum has a huge cupboard full of saris. I hope she's not watching this. She will kill me. And it's just like, it's never ending. I'm like, how many events will you attend in your lifetime to be able to wear all of that more than once? Probably very unlikely, It's just, like, I wish there was a more sort of, I think it's getting better right now, but the whole upcycling concept is being a lot more understood and accepted these days, which I am a huge fan of, where outfits, like you were saying, like where my mum's sari, some of them I would never wear again. But like, there are people who would transition that into like a cute blazer and pant set.
Oh my God, I love that.
And and it like, you just need to find the right creatives who can actually transform those beautiful, stunning pieces into something else that you can wear. And I think that is something that's slowly getting on the rise, but still not quite tapped in yet. And I wish there was more of that. Because overconsumption is, I feel like the main reason our parents did it is because things were so scarce back in the days. Like you had like that one beautiful outfit that your mum gifted you when you didn't really have much money, and then you like took that with you everywhere and anywhere, and there has so many precious memories sort of like sitting in that outfit, all that kind of stuff. And then you all of a sudden have a lot of money, and now you can buy anything and everything you want, and you just hoard. But then it's also a lot of clutter. I feel like it's a lot of mental clutter as well. When I see a lot of clothes, it kind of equates myself. Like I just think of it as like mental clutter. And when I actually clean out my closet, whether that means like donating it to Vinnie's or like donating it elsewhere or like listing it on Kifaayat, like I feel like at least there is a potential that this is going to go to a new home and it's going to be used by someone who needs it. So I think that needs to be more of the norm to sort of like help with that. And I'm glad that the generations forward have actually started to embrace minimalism a bit more. I think people are being more like, I don't know if you see a lot of Instagram influencers these days, they have like capsule wardrobes. And they just like have that set of outfits and then they just rewear it, buy the quality things and then repurpose it, style it different ways. You mix and match and kind of go there. And I guess that's one good way of embracing the whole minimalism trend or like movement that we're going towards. And I think that needs to be in South Asian fashion as well. Like we need to bring that in to us as well. I
think it's like a conflicting opinion though. Like, you know, people are like South Asian fashion and our culture is not minimalistic. We need to look back into our roots. And we don't really think about ancient history. All the artwork and the saris, like these are like ancient clothes that have existed and they've been made in really sustainable ways. And even like people have upcycled those outfits and saris. You know, there's a culture, and I think in West Bengal, where they literally upcycle the saris to make quilts. And so that has existed for generations, like, you know, from our grandparents and great-grandparents and great-great-great-grandparents. So we just don't acknowledge that anymore. And nowadays what we're seeing is like fast fashionization, I guess, of South Asian clothes. So even think about like Kanjivaram saris, right? They're actually handmade. And even a lot of South Asian clothes typically are meant to be handmade. But now what we're seeing is there's literally like mills in Gujarat, for example, where things are bulk made and it's basically like fast fashion. Like literally the embroidery is machine made. And it's literally because there's so much overconsumption in India, but also outside of India when it comes to South Asian clothes as well. The sheen of South Asian clothes in India, like lehengas and saris, are made so fast that they go to all these other marketplaces, like I think there's like Mintra and all these other marketplaces in India, for example. And so they can be moved and sold to people super quickly to the point where something might be made that same day and it will be sold to someone in the States somewhere. And stuff comes so quickly there. So much faster than here, to be honest. But that is fast fashion. People don't realize that there are literally people in different states that hand make like saris and lehengas and do handmade embroidery. And they're just going to lose their work and their jobs. And that art that we've seen for generations is just going to eventually disappear because of the fast fashion.
And I feel like the quality is it's so different. To those who used to do this from back in the days, their whole intention when making anything was like, how can I make this last? Like they would have that sustainability element in their mind anytime they make anything new. Whereas now with like fast fashion, it's like, how can I get the maximum profit out of this one unit of item and get it out there as quickly as possible. I know as consumers, it's just very easy just to turn a blind eye on all of that. But we all know at the end of the day that when you're shopping at Lashkara or all of these sort of really those kind of brands where you know the price point is lower than usual, the quality is not the best, but at least like they're giving you so many different options and things like that. But you turn a blind eye on at least it's like matching my price point. At least I'm gonna just buy this and wear it one time. But if I can maybe encourage, actually both of us can encourage, if price point is an issue because you can't match the quality price point or you can't afford it anymore, then at least utilize the outfits that you have to like sell it as pre-loved or like rent it out or just do something with it, so that sustainability element of it is not lost from a perspective of it ending it in a landfill. It doesn't make sense. Like, if there's anything and everything that we could do to sort of push that forward.
Exactly. Yeah. And the other thing, like if we just think about like our practices, like historically, there are a lot of like natural dyes that were used. And honestly, like, and also the natural fibers used in clothing, we don't see that anymore. Like you can actually tell the difference when you're using like a natural fiber and wearing that on your skin. Yeah. Like I can definitely tell, like I feel so much more comfortable in like cotton or linen or even silk versus polyester. I don't know if you've noticed that as well, but it's so uncomfortable.
It is. Yeah.
And you see that with South Asian clothes as well. So like now the newer stuff that's coming out that's like kind of fast fashion is really poor quality clothing that is actually really uncomfortable. But if you actually wear something from like organic fibers or natural fibers, you can feel the difference and it makes your South Asian clothes so much more comfortable. And I felt that because my mom has some like really comfy, you know, cotton or silk clothes. Yeah. Even like a silk sari, you can really feel the difference when it's like authentic silk versus like this fake. I don't know what it is.
I don't actually know. They call it silk, but it's not.
I don't think it's silk. Yeah. So you genuinely feel the difference. But yeah, I think reusing, upcycling, like I see that so much now. My Instagram's just full of people like upcycling Indian clothes, upcycling their mum's sari. Some people really hate it. I've seen like a lot of hate as well of like people upcycling their mum's old saris and they're like, oh, why would you do that to such a beautiful sari? But at the same time, it's like if they're not going to wear it and they're upcycling it to something that they would like to wear, it's okay as well. I don't know. It's a conflicting.
I mean, there's two ends of the spectrum, right? Like those people who are commenting saying, why would you ruin that sari? They're probably the ones who would actually like buy quality items and like just keep it and like wear those repeatedly. Yeah. Whereas like the other option for those who do buy a lot of different saris or who have mums who buy a lot of saris and you want to repurpose and wear it, then that's the option you go with. I mean, there's no straight answer for anything. No. You just got to weigh in your options and be like, what's something that will allow me to go towards the right direction? Yes. And you just, that's just how you have to see it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things that's kind of influenced me to think about buying sustainably, so I now, whenever I need to buy something for like an event, like it was my sister's baby shower the other day, I just bought something secondhand because I'm like, I'm just going to wear it once. And I want something good quality that I could wear to the event. So I went on Depop and bought something secondhand. And I'm not ashamed to say that. And so now my whole mindset is that I always buy, or at least try to buy pre-loved as long as I can find it in my size and all of that. And then if I can't find it for whatever reason, which is very unlikely, hardly ever happened, then I might need to buy new just because I might not be able to find it in my size or particular design that I'm looking for. But most of the time, I reckon you can. And so that's with Western clothes. But now even with South Asian clothes, I either try to repeat, mix and match like you were saying, or just even buy it secondhand. There are so many ways you can do that. There's boutiques like yours. There's marketplaces like Kifaayat or even Facebook Marketplace. There's so many ways and people are selling their clothes everywhere. And it's just underrated, honestly. Like people don't realize the ways you can save money. And it's not just about sustainability. Like if you don't care about sustainability or whatever, you can actually save money, a lot of money, and get something really nice and unique as well. One thing that influenced me to get to this point was this documentary called The Minimalist. And it honestly, I watched it like years ago, by the way, but and I actually have a podcast as well, and I still think about all the things that were in that document. I mean, they were like quite extreme, and you know, they only wore the same t-shirt every day, and like 5 of them. I wouldn't do that because, you know, I love to, you know, wear like South Asian clothes, jewelry, all that type of stuff. But one of the things that kind of really resonated was we don't need all these things in our life, like physically. I feel like there's so many things outside of, could be social media, outside of buying things that you can do with your life. It could be going for a walk, talking to people, having conversations. There's so many things that we miss out just because we're always shopping online, chronically online. It wasn't just about overconsumption of physical things, but also overconsumption of technology and everything that we do in our life. And so it really made me take like a step back and be like, oh my God, I'm wasting so much time. I'm wasting my life by being online all the time or buying things all the time. And wasting so much money as well. So there's just so many things that you can do to get out of that mindset. Not just overconsume and buy things, but also not just be on social media and all that all the time as well. So that was kind of one of the things that really has stuck with me for the last couple of years.
No, I think I actually watched something similar. I think maybe a bit different, but there's a documentary called Buy Now. It's on Netflix, and again, same sort of concept of how things have been made these days to not last. So things are not made to last at all, which means it encourages overconsumption. It encourages. So there's this thing that they said where light bulbs used to be made to last for years and years and years. And that's just how it normally is. But then all of a sudden, some guy was like, yep, I'm going to decrease the life of these light bulbs so that we have a huger profit margin and people keep buying it. So just like intentionally businesses reducing life of things, it just doesn't make sense. And then that ends up being in landfill. And oh my God, the whole landfill concept and the whole perspective they give you on that in that documentary is mind-boggling. Like, and the way that they've sort of framed the documentary is also very interactive. So definitely highly recommend watching it. But I think I'm also very similar in you in the sense I was never perfect, as in like I used to shop and I still like I shop a lot. Like you get tempted by ads on Instagram, or some friend of yours bought a bag and you're like, I want the same bag. And like TikTok, oh my God, Zara's latest beautiful maxi dress is viral and trending. I want to get that. It's all there, and it's like so in your face and in your head all the time. Again, going in with the online consumption thing, that online consumption translates into physical overconsumption as well. And I think I've become a lot more conscious of that lately. I have also started to purchase secondhand things on Depop. Again, I have an event coming up. Need a pink dress. Don't have a pink dress. Went on Depop. Found one with tags.
Wow.
Less than half the price of that thing still being sold online. And I bought it. I was like, why are we not utilizing this? Like, this should be our first point of finding an outfit as opposed to going elsewhere. And I mean, if you are very specific and need a specific pale blue colored outfit that you can't find anywhere else, then yes, go buy the new thing. But like when you have the option to choose a much more sustainable route, then go with that and experiment. Like if you've never done it before, if you've never shopped on Depop or on Kifaayat before, I encourage it. Just try it. Just think of it as an experiment. Try it once, see how you feel, enjoy that experience, and then you'll see that there's honestly not much of a difference between you purchasing something online directly and having the fancy packaging and labeling and all that stuff that comes with it to buying something on Depop or Kifaayat. Like just it's
literally no difference. You just need to wash it.
It's a mentality. It's a mindset of like, I want to be more conscious. Not okay. Again, if you don't care about sustainability, fine. Be more conscious of my wallet and how I'm spending my money. I want to be more conscious of the clutter that's in my life. Then yes, use those options as one way to go forward. Yeah.
And a lot of the times, if I do buy something secondhand, I tend to sell it again afterwards as well. Even if I buy something new, I just don't like to keep stuff in my closet all the time, and it can go to someone else, better use. I get some money out of it. So it's like the cost per wear is just so little. Like it might be like $10, $20 for like $100 dress. So
exactly.
It's just you're saving money, you're being sustainable, and it's just and you have space in your closet.
Yeah, and the outfits are in perfect condition. There's like almost nothing really wrong with it. And if there is like something wrong with it, say the zipper is broken or like there's a stitch that's come off, it's not the end of the world. You can fix that. It's like such an easy fix. You just need to be patient and willing to be able to invest that time and do something about it rather than just like, oh, it's just easy to just add to cart, ship straight away.
And it'll come to you tomorrow.
Oh my God, buy now, by the way, goes into Amazon a lot.
Yeah, I know. It's a really good documentary. One thing I've noticed coming back in fashion with South Asian clothes, by the way, is Y2K South Asian clothes. Like, my Instagram is just full of Kareena Kapoor from K3G, Aishwarya Rai, Rani Mukherjee, and the lehengas they used to wear back in the day. I feel like I've like thrown mine out from like back in the day, but I feel like I could just list them on Kifaayat and they will get sold straight away.
I know. I actually have some lehengas that I still haven't really thrown away, and I'm like, I could totally upcycle that and like create one of those beautiful, you know, the the palazzo pants, with like the one shoulder tops, and I am so in for the back in the day sort of fashion.
And I've also seen like Instagram pages that are selling this kind of stuff in India, and they're like completely viral. Like they would either upcycle them and make them into like these cute halter neck outfits. Or they would literally sell like vintage, which is like from the year 2000s, by the way, now. Like saris and lehengas from back in the day, which, you know, we would be like, oh, why would you wear that? But Gen Z are just like all over it. A store called Your Fave Fits and Rose Indie Store, and they are literally just for upcycled and vintage South Asian clothes or Indian clothes in India. So I'm like, why aren't we doing that over here? We need more of that here.
They look, I've actually seen some of those come up on my page as well. They're so trendy. I'm telling you, if freaking Polly or someone's going to hop on that bandwagon very soon.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's a whole different topic of discussion. But I actually really, I'm glad that's come back because again, it's a great opportunity for all those vintage, those outfits that have been sitting in our closets to be upcycled and giving them a space to be worn again. Because the sad part is that it's a trend. Like, I wish it wasn't just because it's a trend. I wish it was something that people did as a way of fashion. Like, it can just be something that you do anyway. Speaking of upcycling and stuff, I remember one of the first upcycling pages that I saw was Transformations by Tracy.
Oh wow! Okay.
She upcycles a lot of Western wear, thrifted outfits that I would, if I saw those outfits in a thrift shop, I would not be touching those because they just look very like old school, but she makes it look like so beautiful into this Spanish dancing dresses. And I was like, wow, like if you have those skill sets, or if that itself was like a whole business of like people who just upcycle, that would be so good. And I also have noticed that there's a lot of actresses, Bollywood actresses these days, who've been a bit more vocal about sustainable fashion and stuff. So, for example, Bhumi Badnekar, she actually is very vocal about utilizing sustainable clothing pieces, like re-wearing things, repurposing it. I've noticed that she is quite vocal about that and does that quite often. And I think it was Aleya Bhatt, Deepika Padukone, they actually sell a lot of their pre-loved outfits. And they sell it for charitable purposes. Like, I'm glad like there are steps being made by these huge influences that is moving towards that direction, because sometimes that's what it takes. Like all these really big influencers, if all of a sudden to them they normalize the fact that pre-loved is the way to go, or like upcycling is the way to go, then slowly everyone's going to change their way of consumption, of like going towards that sort of way, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of work to be done in this space, and I wish, like, I hope that influencers try and like move towards that direction as much as they can, so that they can get everyone else on the bandwagon. Yeah.
And I think we're slowly seeing it, and we have influencers who are conscious about fashion, both with Western clothes. Slowly we're seeing it with South Asian clothes as well, but then there's a whole heap of influencers that are still all about overconsumption. And I think there's an opportunity for them to change their mindset, not just all about the money, but I don't know if that's going to change dramatically, but I know there's a group of people who really care about sustainable fashion. Actually, I have a really interesting story. The other day I was at an event, talking about Kifaayat, and one lady came up to me, she's like, oh yeah, I already follow you, and I actually have done something like this in the past back in India, in Bangalore, and she used to have a Facebook page, and she had like 3,000 people on her Facebook page, and she said this was like 10 years ago, by the way.
Oh, wow.
And people used to share their saris on that group, and I was like, wow, like, this actually has existed in the past, and people do care about it. It's just more finding the right people as well who have the same mindset, and hopefully we can change people's mindsets slowly as well, all around us, our friends, family, like parents. I think they all need to slowly change. Like, I just got off the phone to my mom, and she was like, I have so many lehengas, I don't know what to do with them. Like, they're her own lehengas that she wore to my sister's wedding. Like, what is she going to do with them now? Even though she can sell them on Kifaayat. I don't know why she hasn't done that. But yeah, like, she's never going to wear them now. So there's, now we also need to, like, educate our parents and that generation as well, because I have so many, actually a lot of the people that use Kifaayat are people who you think it's Gen Z, but it's actually parents who have like slightly older daughters who know that they just have so much stuff, their stuff, like mums, and also their daughters. They just want to get rid of the stuff that they've obviously bought because they've been to so many events. And it's the same thing in my house. I'm sure it's the same with you as well. All of our mums have so many saris. What are they going to do with them? So it's just figuring out the best way to get rid of them, but in a more sustainable way, not just throwing them out. What people don't realize is how much stuff actually ends up in landfill. Like, you think you're donating it, but it doesn't necessarily go to the right people. There's actually this place in India, in Ghaziabad, in Delhi, and I drive past it when I go to my grandparents' house, and it is like a massive hill, and you think it's like a small hill, and then you see the truck, and the truck is like this tiny. It's like a little white dot on this hill, and the hill is just rubbish. It's just garbage. Like, it stinks. Oh God! So it literally is ending up in these developing countries as waste, and they already have so much, like, such a high population. And that we're just sending all our waste to them. Like, all our, like, we're in Australia, UK, America, like, all these countries are just sending their donated clothes to these developing countries, and they don't know what to do. They just end up in that, and they're the ones who suffer the most, right? Like, it all kinds of ends on them. Buy Now, again, talks a lot on that. It's crazy. It gives you a lot of perspective. Sometimes ignorance is bliss, I get it, but with this kind of stuff, you really need to take any step you can towards the right direction, just to let that needle come back a bit, because right now it's a bit too much. It is. And we're seeing it, like, even like the environmental impact, the crazy weather that we're seeing all around the world. Like, that's just firsthand, like, you can see it and experience it. Exactly. Thank you so much, Aleena, for joining our podcast. It was so great to talk about all things wedding, South Asian fashion, pre-love fashion, and minimalism and sustainability. If you aren't already following Aleena, follow Rani Vibes and Aleya.as. We'll link it in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our podcast. We'll be talking about some really exciting topics over the next couple of months. Thank you. Thanks for having me. See you later. Bye.